Hi guys, another 10 questions. I've just re-recorded this one this morning because I didn't have any sound last night when I did it. So yeah, I will delete the one that's up there already if you've already seen it, and then replace it with this one. But it's the same questions. So 10 questions. You don't need a calculator, so it's designed for you to do at home, just with a piece of pen and paper. A couple of different topics, and then mostly ones you've seen before. So pause the video, have a go, and then I'm going to go through the answers now. Okay, so first one up here, we've got subtraction. Okay, and I'm going to add in my place value here. So I've got 32.8, and I'm minusing 12.25. So I'm going to add in that extra 0 here, and it will make sense why in a minute. So 12.25, and we're subtracting. But 0 take 5, which I can't do, so I'm going to borrow from here. 10 take 5 is 5. 7 take 2 is 5. Bring down decimal point. 2 take 2 is 0. And 3 take 1 is 2, so it's 20.55. Then I've got a trapezium here. So it's quadrilateral, your four-sided shape, pair of parallel sides, which are opposites. And we're looking at finding the area. So you need to know that formula first of all for the area of a trapezium, which is half A plus B. Now A and B are these opposite sides, so I'm going to call that an A and B. You could call that A and B, it doesn't really matter which one's which. Times by the height, and it's that perpendicular height through the middle here at a right angle, which we're given in the example. So that's half. A is 8, B is 12. Times by 5, which is 20. Half of 20 is 10, times 5 is 50 centimetres squared. Number 3, find the equivalent fraction. So whatever I do to the numerator and denominator, and whatever I multiply by, I need to do the same to both to keep it equivalent and balanced. So 5 to 40 I've times by 8, so I'm going to do the same to the top. So I've got 2 times by 8, which is 16. So 16 over 40. And then this time we're looking at the numerator, and I've gone from 2 to 140. Well, 2 times 7 is 14, and it's 10 times bigger. So I've multiplied by 70, and I'm going to do the same down here. Well, 7 times 5 is 35, and it's 10 times bigger, so 350. Put in order smallest to biggest these numbers. So I'm noting the 2 decimal places is the biggest number after decimal point. So the only one that doesn't have 2 is this one, and we're going to just rewrite that. So 0.01, 0.1. I'm going to add in a 0 because that's not changed that number. 0.15, 0.02, and 0.11. So now when I compare, I'm just going to ignore the bit before, and I've got the number 1, 10, 15, 2, and 11. So it must be this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, and lastly this one. Okay. Then I got substitution. So x is 4, y is 5. So I've got 2 lots of x and 3 lots of y. So 2 lots of 4 plus 3 lots of y. So that's 8 plus 15, which is 23 for that one. Okay, so going up here to number 6. Find 35% of 200. Well, first of all, let's start with 10%. And there are loads of ways you can make 35, but I'm going to find 10% first of all. So I'm dividing by 10, which is 20. 5% is half of 10%. So I'm just going to half that number there, 20. Half of 20 is 10. And now I can either do 3 lots of 10 plus the 5, or I also know that 7 5s are 35. And because this is quite a nice number 10, I'm going to do it that way. So I'm going to do 7 lots of my 5%, which is 70, which is my 35%. So my answer is 70. Okay, then number 7, multiplying fractions. One of the easiest things we can do with fractions actually. So we'll just times the numerators or the tops and times the bottoms. So I've got 1 times 3 over 2 times 8, which is 3/16. And I can't simplify that because 3 is prime and 16 is not in my 3 times table. So I can't divide by 3, therefore it's in simplest form. Then I've got some inequalities for number 8. So I've got greater than, less than, or equal to sign, make them correct. First one's quite straightforward because I've just got 2 numbers, 32, 49. I know that's bigger, so I need the open bit to be on 49. Then for the second one, I need to first of all convert that to an ordinary number. 4 squared means 4 times 4, which is 16. Well, 16 is bigger than 12, so it's this sign again. And the last one, well, 1 over 5 is the same as 2 over 10. And 2 divided by 10 is 0.2, so they are equal. And that's one you need to sort of know and learn. 1/5 is 0.2. You'd be expected to know that. Okay, number 9. Hopefully you can't hear that in the background. Sorry, my little one banging my phone into the little Tykes car. So 10, 6, 20, and 9. That's 1 times 2 is 2 and 2 zeros. 2 sixes are 12 and a 0. 1 times 9 is 9 plus a 0. 9 sixes are 54. So that's 200, 320, 410, 464. And then the final question, what 3 pieces of information is needed to do a rotation? So that's one of the 4 transformations. We need a direction. Are we going clockwise or anti-clockwise? Once you know which way you're going, we need to know by how many degrees. So 90 degrees, for example, or 270, 180. That's the only one where you don't necessarily need to put direction because it doesn't matter if you go clockwise or anti-clockwise, you end up in the same place. And lastly, you need a centre of rotation. So that's a coordinate where you start rotating from. If you think where you put your pencil when you turn your piece of tracing paper, it's normally a coordinate, so something like 3, 2 or 0, 0. Or it might say from the centre or the origin. And obviously you guys need to know that those, that point there, 0, 0. You can't quite see that, sorry. Let's move that over for you. The centre of rotation, 3, 2, 0, 0, and centre or origin. Okay, cool, thanks.